Swadika, thanks for joining us on Newsline. We're broadcasting live on NBT Radio Thailand FM 88 and also on NBT World. It's a Tuesday and the date is May 24th, and my name is Sandra Hanutsaha. In today's segment of Thailand Moves Forward, our first story concerns the Prime Minister, who has urged all state agencies to move on with their integrated efforts and help steer forward the national reform process. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha joined ministers, provincial governors, department heads and state officials from across the country in a seminar on steering the national reform process in an integrated manner. General Prayut has insisted that all state offices need to work together in order for the country to adapt to the ever-changing conditions of the world, while adhering to the philosophy of sufficiency economy to help achieve stability, prosperity, and sustainability. The Prime Minister also said that the country's socio-economic structures must transition from an agricultural society to an environmentally friendly industrial society while stepping towards true democracy. The government has insisted that there will be no amendment to the Public Referendum Act. Deputy Prime Minister Wisnu Krangam said that he is aware that political parties hold different opinions about the new draft constitution. He expressed concern for those who do not have sufficient information or experience in this matter. Dr. Wisnu said it is the responsibility of the Election Commission, or EC, to foster a correct understanding. Regarding a call by political parties to liberalize the sharing of opinions on the draft charter, the Deputy Prime Minister said the government and the National Council for Peace and Order, or NCPO, will look into this issue. However, he said that an amendment of the Public Referendum Act is unlikely, claiming such a revision would not solve the problem. Deputy Prime Minister General Prawit Wongsuwan rejected calls for the NCPO to relax its orders and amend the law to allow more freedom of expression related to the draft charter. He noted that forums to hear opinions of political parties have already taken place, while similar events for people across the country are underway. The President of the National Legislative Assembly, or NLA, has denied claims that the public referendum question will help the NCPO extend its power into the next administration. NLA President Phonphet Vichicholachai said that he has not been notified of any concerns from provincial volunteers about the public referendum question or whether it will help the NCPO retain power for another 12 years. Mr. Phonphet said that such a notion is unlikely to be true, while noting that the simple language used in the referendum question should not lead to any misunderstandings unless the question is distorted. The NLA president added that he is planning to attend various forums to explain the draft charter and the referendum question. Regarding criticism against the NCPO after its 2 years in office, Mr. Phonphet said the council has not failed in any way, especially when compared with how the previous government operated before the military coup in May 2014. The Election Commission, or EC, has moved forward with preparations for the upcoming public referendum on the new draft charter. EC Deputy Secretary General Thanitsi Pratet on Monday led a group of reporters to the printing house in Pathum Thani province, where copies of the draft charter and its summary have been printed for distribution before the referendum takes place on August 7th. Mr. Thanit said that the EC has contracted the printing house for 58 million baht to print 1 million copies of the draft charter and 4 million copies of its summary by the Constitution Drafting Commission, as well as 4 million copies of the explanation of the referendum question. He added that the distribution of the copies will start on May 25th. Meanwhile, EC Chairman Supachai Somjarean has opened the Public Referendum Administrative Center to help ensure efficient voting at the referendum. Mr. Supachai is confident that the new center will be able to rein in all problems and situations in a timely manner. The National Reform Steering Assembly, or NRSA, has approved a report on the reform of the country's water management to help solve inequality in the agriculture sector. The NRSA reviewed a report from the Committee on the Reform of Social Affairs, which discussed the reform of water management nationwide, as well as related draft regulations for the Prime Minister's office. The committee told the NRSA sitting that the proposed reforms will be instrumental in achieving efficient, fair, and sustainable water management. It also affirmed that the reforms will promote public participation while taking into consideration every aspect of water usage and tackling the problems of inequality in agriculture, natural resources, and the environment. Most NRSA members agreed with the proposals and voted 154 to none, with 3 abstentions to approve the report. The Ministry of Tourism and Sports has reported that the number of Thai and international tourists in Thailand in the second quarter this year will likely increase by 9.2% following continuous tourism growth. Tourism and Sports Minister Gopkan Wattanawarangkoon said in the first quarter, Thailand's tourism revenue was 680 billion baht, increasing by 16% from the same period last year. Second quarter revenue is expected to stand at 560 billion baht, of which 355 billion baht was generated by foreign tourists. Most of the international tourists visiting Thailand this year were from China, followed by those from Europe and ASEAN. The ministry has estimated that the combined tourism revenue of the first and second quarter will total 2.4 trillion baht. It has set plans to promote tourism in 7 major cities and 12 minor ones in order to spread tourism revenue to various communities. Furthermore, the ministry is preparing to promote health and wellness tourism in line with the government's Thai tourism strategy for the years 2015 to 2017. Thailand has collaborated with an international organization in arranging the 14th InfoFish World Tuna Trade Conference and Exhibition Tuna 2016 Bangkok in an effort to show that the kingdom is determined to combat IUU fishing. The Department of Fisheries, together with InfoFish, the Thai Tuna Industry Association, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, or FAO, as well as regional fisheries and tuna organizations, have organized the event for a meeting between stakeholders, that is, in tuna industries around the world. The conference will allow them to exchange information about the state of tuna fisheries in various regions, as well as the problem of IUU, or illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. Deputy Director General of the Department of Fisheries, Juadi Pongmanirat, has confirmed that Thailand is doing its best to tackle IUU fishing by passing new laws and rigorously enforcing them. Thailand recently acceded to the FAO Port State Measure Agreement, which will take effect on June 5th. The agreement will help Thailand eradicate IUU fishing and promote the use of marine resources in a sustainable manner. Listed companies in the service and commodity sector showed signs of recovery in the first quarter, with profit up among many businesses. Senior Executive Vice President of Exchange Function for the Stock Exchange of Thailand, Santi Kiranan, disclosed that 514 out of 557 companies listed on the exchange have filed their returns for the first quarter of this year. The filings revealed that 423 companies, or 75.94%, turned a profit during the period, with sales totaling 2.3 trillion baht. The number was 6.17% lower than the same period last year, weighed by energy and petrochemical companies suffering from the downturn in fuel prices. However, the figure is up 28.43% from the previous quarter. Dr. Santi said the reports overall indicate recovery in the economy, especially in the service and commodities sectors. The strongest rebound is being seen among transport, real estate, construction, metals, fashion goods, office supplies, and food and beverages. And that is the end of today's edition of Thailand Moves Forward. Up next in our ASEAN News segment, we go to a NIDA seminar on the role of digital media in the region. But first, we'll have a look at the exchange rates and the commodity prices.
Thai. Created from Thai wisdom, used to be served on banana leaf, and the banana tree is used for practicing Muay Thai. Muay Thai was trained in the temples, which can be found on the mountains, in the caves, or on the water, everywhere, just like Pad Thai. There are thousands of other stories to discover. Discover your amazing stories in amazing Thailand.
If the earth is your home, the ocean is theirs as well. Working together, the government and private sector can solve all the issues currently facing the Thai fishing industry. From legitimizing fishing operations to helping out our fellow fishermen and collaborating with international parties.
ตอนนี้ถึงเวลาแล้วนะครับที่เราจะต้องมาร่วมมือกันทำให้มันถูกต้องมันก็ต้องปรับตัวในช่วงแรกแต่ในระยะยาวมันก็คุ้มค่าถ้าไม่มีอาชีพนี้เราก็ไม่รู้จะทำอะไรกันแล้วผมก็พร้อมครับที่จะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งในการแก้ปัญหา
Welcome back to Newsline. It's time for our ASEAN News. Experts in the field of media and communications discussed the future role of digital media within Thailand and the ASEAN community. The National Institute of Development Administration, or NIDA, organized a seminar on the topic of digital engagement and experiences in the ASEAN community as a forum for communications experts to discuss the opportunities and challenges of digital media in the ASEAN community. Yubon Benjarongit, Dean of the Graduate School of Communication Arts and Management Innovation of NIDA, said that the seminar was held to commemorate the 4th anniversary of the faculty's establishment.
This is the fourth anniversary of the faculty, and so this is a time that we organize a seminar in digital media. We call it digital engagement and experiences in ASEAN community. So this is the time that we would like to invite people in the field to join us and have a chance to engage and exchange ideas.
Dr. Wadapan Konggyalpan of the Strategic Planning Sector of TOT said that ASEAN's ICT policy will play an important part in the bloc's technological integration.
It's a very important thing to integrate ASEAN community effectively in terms of technology is to implement ASEAN ICT policy with result orientation. To me, the technology and innovative development is not effective without infrastructure development from end-to-end network, starting from core network, access network, until the last mile to the rural people. I mean, it is very crucial to bridge digital gap among people and among ASEAN member countries.
In today's world, the choices of products, services, and brands are increasing. Businesses strive to ensure that their product or service is the preferred choice for their target consumers. Our correspondent, Kun Pimchanok Ratanapisayed, got a chance to speak with the owner of Sinuk Coffee about Sinuk's brand building strategy to attract target consumers both domestically and overseas.
When we think about Lao coffee, we may picture the Bolivian Plateau, the major coffee growing region in Laos, surrounded by nature, as seen in a commercial currently shown on TV. But instead of putting the products on consumer through advertising, one Lao coffee company, Sinuk Coffee, is using a so-called pooling strategy by crafting its identity with the idea of premium quality to make consumers understand why they should prefer Sinuk Coffee over others.
Fortunately, this land can produce high-quality coffee. This high-quality coffee is in demand by the other markets surrounding us.
Sinuk says that the instant coffee market is quickly declining due to the opening of many independent coffee shops. Now, more and more coffee shops require high-quality Arabica. He adds that while other countries produce more Robusta, Laos produces a balance of 50% Arabica and 50% Robusta at the highest rate in Southeast Asia. Sinuk sees a great potential for his product in the ASEAN market, as well as in the South Korea market, where consumers demand quality coffee. To differentiate itself and put a company level above its competition, Sinuk Coffee associates its brand with quality products, coffee resort, coffee shop, and coffee pavilion.
We're at Sinuk Coffee Cafe located on important agricultural area on Bolivian Plateau. Here you can enjoy a cup of freshly brewed Lao coffee in a beautiful scenery.
At Sinuk Coffee Resort, consumers can visit the birthplace of the coffee they are drinking. They can see farmers growing coffee with proper care using organic techniques. This is where high-quality products come from. To ensure product and service are made to high quality all the way through, Sinuk Coffee invests in trustworthy people, farmers, trading partners, managers, and staffs. As for the designs of the coffee shop, it combines both French and Lao style in the cozy home setting.
I have set up in Vientiane the coffee museum, the unique coffee museum. People can know how are the different processing steps. We take care about the quality from the beginning to the end. We showcase how we roast our coffee.
Sinuk Coffee connects its branding with the target consumer's need and shows careful attention to its products and service. By consistently delivering value, the brand remains competitive and credible and is able to succeed in the long run. Camera work by Pornmongkol Suthi and Pimchanok Ratanapised, NBT World, Champasak, Lao.
In our international stories, bomb blasts killed nearly 150 people and wounded at least 200 in Jableh and Tartus on Syria's Mediterranean coast in the government-controlled territory that hosts Russian military bases. Islamic State claimed responsibility for the attacks in these cities, which up until now escaped the worst of the violence. It said it was targeting members of President Bashar al-Assad's Alawite minority. The Britain-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said 148 people were killed in attacks by at least 5 suicide bombers and 2 devices planted in cars. State media had said 78 people had been killed in what is Assad's coastal heartland. The observatory and state media said that one of the 4 blasts in Jableh happened at a bus station and another at a hospital. The attacks were the first of their kind in Tartus, which is home to a Russian naval facility, and in Jableh, near a Russia-operated airbase. Russian President Vladimir Putin reiterated his readiness to fight with the Syrian government against, quote-unquote, the terrorist threat, and sent his condolences to Assad. Greece will begin to evacuate a makeshift camp on its northern border with Macedonia, where thousands of migrants and refugees have been stranded in dire conditions for months. The sprawling camp in a field near the Greek town of Idomeni sprang up in February after border shutdowns across the Balkans left the people stranded there. They had mostly been heading for Germany and other wealthier northern European countries. The migrants, mostly from conflict zones in Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan, have refused to move despite having to sleep in the open in very difficult conditions or being tear-gassed by Macedonian police. They have largely ignored appeals by Greek authorities to move to organized camps set up around Greece. When asked if the government planned to remove all 8,000 people estimated to be living in the camp, a spokesperson said the evacuation process starting today would be completed in 10 days at most. He added that these makeshift camps only serve the interest of smugglers. And that's all the time we have for this edition of Newsline. If you have any comments or suggestions, do feel free to email them to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook by typing in NNT and have a look at our website at thainews.prd.go.th/en. Today we say goodbye with the 360-degree photography of Mount Everest taken along its southern climbing route. For Newsline, I'm Sandra Hanut Saha. Have a great day. Sawasdee ka.